Alright, we'll go back to the league race this time with FTRL for round number 5, 6. I can't remember at this stage of the championship here at Belgium. The race is mostly wet, so not looking particularly great off the bat with that run, with that wet race there. So I would like this track. I do go decently okay here. It's fine. And that rain is a blow. That's a big blow because honestly, yeah, it's not a situation I particularly enjoy or thrive in on this game in the wet. So the only thing I really changed though, because I assumed, because as is the case here normally, when the rain comes, it comes much earlier than you think it does. So I'm still thinking perhaps we could get half a race here in dry conditions. So I didn't really change a ton, other than put the wing up, the rear wing up to 6. So that's really all I changed here in terms of the setup. So anyways, the qualifying itself wasn't very eventful. Here is my... This is a very poor lap, to be honest. I had been doing... I think I actually got into the 40s, but just, yeah, or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever. It's P13. I qualified my teammate, though, which is, I think, it was the most important thing for me, really, at the end of the day here. But, yeah. Sorry, I did a 41... I think I done a 41, like, 4 or something was my best time. I think. Something like that. So, which would have been good enough for, I think, 11th place anyway, so yeah, not great. We will move up to 12th because Scuba has a 5th place penalty, so I'm not sure for what, but anyways, here is the weather. You should yeah, much later than actually any of us actually really expected, so that was kind of a blow right there. So I was like, oh great, well, you kind of, you just kind of settle in to what could be a pretty long one. So yeah, wet races don't go well for me. I just don't have the confidence on the throttle to really make the most of it. So here we go then. We'll do what we can. Here we go then. 5 red lights. And away we go. I don't know what my teammate does to actually get the starts that he does in these conditions. I do not know. Because he's going to absolutely gazump up the inside here. I'm going to take it nice and easy on the outside here. And he gets past all of these cars. He started behind me and he's up into, I think, 9th. Yeah, insane stuff. But we're going to try and settle here into, well, P13 really. Just behind Adam and behind Keys, is it? Like, I'm not sure. But up the hill, I probably should have shifted to 7th here. But again, a little bit of a better run than Adam, like coming off the top of Radion. So I'm going to try and stick to the outside here. Use a bit of overtake, use a bit of rich. You can use a bit more overtake in the wet than you can in the dry. Decided to get off of it. Initially decided I wasn't going to fight this any longer, but the space kind of opened up here on the inside, and then you kind of back out of that because that's not going to work. So, yeah, pretty quiet lap 1, all things considered. Excuse me, phone, you're not welcome at this meeting. So, anyways, yeah, pretty standard stuff. Actually, the one thing I would be surprised at is how many people actually kept it together in the wet conditions here. I would have thought maybe someone would have lost it coming up the hill at lap 1, but, fair play. We all made it through unscathed. So, well, mostly, I believe. End of lap 1 though, Scuba is just behind me. I tried to take as much speed as I could through there. Scuba took a bit more than I did. Sway just about avoids an absolutely massive accident in front of him with Chubbs, but I let Scuba go here. He got a better run. I decided to get off there. So Chubbs jumped the start, so it will come in and serve his drive-through penalty. So yeah, but that was the end of lap 1 anyway. So not very eventful. Then Scuba overtook me then, and that's fine at the end of that lap. So moving on to lap number 2. This time it's Cam on my inside. He tries to go for it. I was warned he was going to go for rash moves, and he went for the dive there. But I was able to keep the line. But he's just going to get me on traction. I actually ran out of ERS that lap. I was trying to use some, but he gets me, and I decided to go early on the brakes and just settle in behind. So yeah, kind of moving down a few positions here early, is to be expected in the rain. This is what this usually turns into. No matter where I qualify, it's the wet conditions just aren't ones I excel in. So I should have probably looked at actually Chubbs goes off here, I believe, or is it? No, it's actually Keys. So that's a position gained. I should really look into I should have really shifted down to 7th just to keep the keep the speed a bit, but. Yeah, anyways, Chicken decides, thinks about a move. I leave him the space, but left him, he didn't decide to go for it in the end. Lap number 5, This time we're going to have. See, I really should shift down to 7 because then I'm barely scraping 10,000 RPM. So it really does affect your top speed. So I really should have looked into doing that during the race. I think I did at some stages, but anyways, there goes Forbidden. So Dutch behind has pitted onto Inters, and I thought perhaps this was a little early, but it's quite a long lap here. So by the time I'd say to get to the end of this lap, which we're just going to cut to now, it might be there. It might be there. That's how it was. The one of the things with this track is that it's such a long track that even though it's not ready at the beginning of the lap, by the time you get to the end of it, it may be. So, anyways, I'm going to box as well because my teammate didn't, and I'm thinking, well, he's going to definitely box next lap. So, in we come for a set of the intermediate tyre. So, yeah, nothing. Again, a very quiet kind of first stint. Perhaps, I'm thinking back now, maybe, was this a lap too soon? I think this was a decent time to come in, to be fair. Because it would have been about, even if the Inter wasn't, it may not have been the significantly better tyre, but it was just about touch and go, I think, anyways, at this stage of the race. So anyways, lap 6, we're going to emerge into some, we're just ahead of Lennon there in I'm at P17. So that's where we stand. And now, obviously, an important lap to kind of kick on, and guys will be coming into the pit soon to put on Inters themselves. So, just have to kick on. There's a yellow flag for Uncle Ben's Rice, who just gets going in front there again. So, yeah, moving on then to lap number 7. Some of the people coming into the pit. You can see Forbidden there. It was very close. And I decided to use some overtake coming out of this pit. So I would have momentum. He'd be still getting to the field of the tyres and obviously coming on low throttle. So, caught up to him here at the bottom of Eau Rouge and up Radion then. I still keep in 8th. But he has a little mistake there and just a little wobble rather. And I actually go down to 7th there to try and just get a bit more revs at the top end. So, anyways, we get that move done, but then he's much later on the brakes. And he has the inside line. And honestly, we were very close there to contact between that left front and his rear right. There's Uncle Ben's Rice out of the race there. Now at the top of around Eau Rouge and Radion, and boom, there is your safety car. So there's a few people who haven't pitched in front, including my teammate. So people like that are going to be good beneficiaries of this safety car. So, anyways, getting to the end of the safety car, it is lap number 9. And we're getting ready to restart again. Again, we are expected to move to dry tyres at some point in this race. And then Chubbs decides that he can't drive under the safety car, hits into the back of me, gives me and him a 5-place penalty. And I'm not impressed at this stage, because if any of you have known me or have heard me talk about races and for as long as you have it now at this stage and some little bit newer than that, I cannot stand shy driving under safety car. I don't understand what's so hard about it. It's not hard to not crash into the guys in front of you. And before you go telling me, oh, you crashed into Dutch and the Brazilian Grand Prix in FTRL, well, it didn't matter because we weren't coming into the pits again, so you can just get that removed. So, and plus that particular safety car was extremely slow. But yeah, he wasn't looking. He said afterwards, so not impressed. And he goes through there then as well. So. Yeah, it's not hard to drive under the safety car. It's not hard, it really isn't hard. So I was annoyed at this stage because I've got to serve this penalty because it's going to dry out at some stage during this race. So I'm going to have to serve this penalty. So, where will that leave me possibly? So we'll find out later on. But yeah, the pace of these Inters, it wasn't amazing. I'm not going to lie, but it did kickstart a little fun battle between Chris and Chicken. And myself for a little bit anyway, so we'll try and see some of that in a little bit. So moving on then to lap number 12. Not the greatest turn in out of La Source. It's going to put Chris alongside me. I'm trying to use overtake and Rich. I don't really want you to go down here. I want to keep this. He keeps the car on the inside. I'm going to hold around the outside. No contact. I get my first warning of the race for that, but very brave from both sides there, from him to keep it down the inside in the wet up that corner, and I decided to hold my ground and hold that move. So, on the outside there in the wet. So I think I worked out pretty well there. But again, I should have downshift to 7th. But yeah. Anyways, there's nothing I could do this time to fight off Chris. So at this stage, I'm kind of trying to save some ERS as well because. We are going to go back to dry conditions, and I need to have some in the locker. I can't spend it all in the wet here, so I'm kind of in conservative mode as well. And the same goes for fuel to a certain extent too. Lap 15, yellow flag in front, that is Chubb's off. And to be honest, that only annoyed me, to be honest. I was like, well, great. Thank you for ruining my race, in a sense. Thank you for giving me a penalty that I have to serve. And then you go and retire from the race. You know, it's not, it's not helpful. I don't know, it just doesn't improve my mood in the moment. So, anyways, Chicken tried to have a little go down into Lake Con, but nothing doing there that time. And that's my second warning of the race now as well, at the same corner. So I'm a little worried now at this stage. But here comes Chicken again. And I decided, I've recovered a bit of ERS, but I decided to kind of let this one go. He's far enough in front of me anyway, but I decided to let this one go nevertheless, and just like, yeah, let's move on. The thing here I'm looking at is Lennon, because now the time now we're switching to dry tires at the lap 18. In retrospect, we probably went a lap or two too soon. It was close. The track was close. Anyways, I had to go serve this 5-second penalty. So the thing is now, Lennon was right behind me when this happened. So, and he's got a penalty as well. So now I'm losing valuable ground here in that little battle for that position. Like again, like you know me, I'll try and fight for every position that I feel like I can achieve. So having lost out on that ground, that's not ideal. So anyways, we're going to emerge from the pits. Sway actually already been coming out of the pits. There's his wing on the right hand side. So track was not. Cam's going to go through here, and Cam would actually extend a 3-second gap on me. So I'd say we went a lap too soon on our tires. Lap 20, kind of now now it's really properly switched. I say for the last lap or so. So yeah, now we're in, but now see Lennon is now up the road. And again, I feel like I should be pretty close to him. I certainly should be ahead of him. So I kind of like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm out of his penalty window anyway, so I kind of just laid off a little bit and just, the gap ended up going over 8 seconds, but I know for a fact if I was in front of him, that gap wouldn't have gone to 8 seconds, and or past the 3 seconds that he would have needed to clear the penalty. So that's a position we lost there. So I appreciate that, Chubbs. It's not learn to drive under a safety car, and you'll have great fortunes in races to come. Anyways, yeah, that's how I feel about that, honestly. And a P13, so not great. The race, the conditions didn't really help. The penalty did not help either. But yeah, there you go. Just a very standard race, really. Nothing really doing, really. It happened, and it was what it was, and I had no problem removing that from my system and moving on to the next race, really. So yeah, this took ages for me to do because I couldn't be arsed. Like, that's how I felt about this race. I couldn't be arsed. It happened, and that's your result. So there you go. That's your race. Here's the standings. Actually, one advantage I have actually of doing this later is that the standings are out. So I'm actually in 8th there, despite some very poor results. Some good results in there too, to be fair, but some very average results too. So yeah, I can't really complain about that. Again, I'm trying to hope to beat my teammate, but we'll see how we get on with that. So the constructors makes a lot more interesting reading as well, to be fair, because when we have a look at that, you can see how close it actually is. So yeah, drivers, we're there, and we'll see what happens. There's the constructors. Actually in 2nd is Renault, so a little bit of margin. I have a Haas and AlphaTauri and Williams, so and not a million miles off a racing point either. So hoping just to keep the consistency of myself and Tom and pick up these results. And who knows, like if we could get top 3, I think that'd be a really good achievement, considering that I'd say we're not really podium setters, to be honest. We could pick one up every now and then, but yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for this race. A very standard race. Just it happened, and that's it, and that's all there is to it. Next up on the calendar is Zandvoort. So yeah, thanks for watching, and until next time.